From Resident Evil.
Dobrze. Zaczęliśmy trochę później, ale obiecuję, że nie skończymy o czasie, czy przeciągniemy to tak, żebyście dostali pełne 40 minut. Dla was to ok? No dobrze. Come on, guys! People are waiting! The cast of Resident Evil! Everybody get one.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Szybka rzecz. Ja naprawdę wiem, że wy przyszliście tutaj, żeby nie słuchać moich pytań i mojej rozmowy, tylko żeby sami zadawać pytania. Więc jak chcecie, to już się ustawcie, żebym przynajmniej widział, ile jest chętnych, bo to też będzie wyznaczało, ile ja będę rozmawiać. The thing I told them that if they have questions, let's make a line that I know how many people there are and that they actually could ask the question. Because they are not here to hear me talking, they want to talk to you. Alright. But we're starting the warm-up for everyone. Do you remember your first day at this job?
Yes, first day at the job. Let's see. I was cast in Resident Evil 2 remake. Has anyone played that game? And my first day just meeting the team at Capcom was extremely special because I've been a fan of Capcom for about 35 years, starting with Mega Man. And just meeting the team and getting to collaborate with them on a project was a dream come true, and it's been a very special thing for me for the past decade. And that's my experience. It's been a dream come true for 10 years.
But did you believe in this franchise?
Did I believe in it?
Yeah.
It's been my favorite franchise since 1998. Yeah.
And that's what I wanted to hear.
I've been a fan since almost day one.
My first day was perfect because Nick was there. And he was so welcoming, and our director Steve and our producer Hiro, they're just the most kind, loving, open people. And I mean, our characters say otherwise, but like Nick is honestly lovely to work with.
You're making me blush.
My first day was terrifying because I'd never done any performance capture or mocap before, and the scene that they wanted me to start with was the plaga removal. Was like the pinnacle. I know. They were like, okay, so get in this chair and scream for your life like you're dying right away. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, we're diving into the deep end. But it was so good and it was so fun, and Steve was very kind, and he was like, you know what, let's like warm up a little bit first and do something else. So we did a smaller, different scene first, but that still was my very first day. Was one of the last scenes in the game. Yeah.
So I remember my first day. I was getting to meet everyone involved in the game, and I had never been in such a big production. Before then, I had just been in smaller, like even short films, basically. So I wanted to throw up the whole time, and I thought it would get better as time passed. But because I knew how big Resident Evil 4 was, I played it as a kid when I was 13 years old, and I loved it. I knew how big of, the size of shoes that I would have to fill, so it never left. I just wanted to throw up the whole time. Yeah.
Well, if it makes any difference, when I met Andre, I wanted to throw up as well. I'm just kidding. I love these guys. This is my family. I love them.
How many times when you guys are in the booths recording stuff, you go off script?
Well, we didn't do booth stuff together. We did performance capture together. So all of the cutscenes, we acted them out. It was facial capture, it was performance capture. So what you're seeing in those cutscenes was us physically doing all of that. And then any time we spent in the booth was actually a lot less time in the booth than it was in the volume. Yeah.
Is there any room for improvisation, or you have to stick 100% of what they want you to do?
There's a little
There was
wiggle
room for improvisation, and Steve, our director, he really understood our specific takes on the characters very well, and he's also a very funny dude, and we are friends, we are family, so it becomes a bit of a banter. It's actually quite funny if I'm in the booth by myself. It's a really small padded space, and I just hear Steve through my headphones. So I'll say something and Steve will say like, yeah, okay. And I was like, no, Steve, let me do it again. I just want to try it again. And I'll be like arguing with myself in a booth, but it's Steve in headphones. But yeah, he definitely leaves space to improvise. Yeah.
Oh, yes. It's definitely a collaborative effort with the writing team, the performance director, the producers, and Capcom. I mean, we all put our heads together, and we just try to make every scene the best it can be. So there's always room for some collaboration. Yeah.
And do you have something that you know that was your input that you're most proud of during those all years?
Well, not just audio. I mean, I get to recommend some funny one-liners with Leon, which is funny. Those are fun. But also, I like the little moments that I get to give Leon in physicality with the motion capture. And one of my favorites, the things that I got to add into RE4 Leon was his little one-handed gun check when he sits down. That's a meme. It became a meme, and that was because my buddy James taught me that like 15 years ago in an action film, and he had my character do a one-handed chamber check. So I added that into that, and Capcom liked it, and we added it in. So I like the little mannerisms even more than the lines myself.
For me, a big one that I really appreciated, which kind of like I feel like defined Luis near the end. I don't know if you remember, Nick, but we were having all dinner, and it was close to the end of filming. We were about to film the famous kind of send-off for Luis, and I asked Steve, our director, what if Luis finally gets his cigarette that he's been asking for so long? Near the end, you know, like this is like his last moments. What if he struggles with the lighter a little bit, and we could make it that maybe Leon helps or something like that? And he's like, I mean, he's a very stoic French man. I love him to death. And he's like, I didn't know if he liked it, but he just stared at me for a couple seconds. He said, I'll talk to Capcom about it. And the next day when we were filming, we tried it out the way that Capcom had it without that scene, and then he's like, Capcom, let's try something. Let's do a couple scenes like this. And he let us try it, and sure enough, it felt great. It felt really like touching, and that's what everybody got to see in the end of Luis. So yeah, that was my favorite.
That's a brilliant moment. That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole game, and it's because it was a real moment between us, and that cigarette was brilliant. Yeah.
We're sitting in Warsaw, in Poland. So I'm curious, when did you guys actually felt that people are so invested in this game, that they know you, not only your voices, your characters, but people behind the game?
I mean, that's a product of the internet. You know, we're kind of like all connected in social media and these circles, so you know what our faces look like, and it's just nice to meet all of you and see all your faces, you know? It's just nice to meet you all.
It really is.
Good to be here.
I started to feel, I mean, when I got here, I met so many people who I've only spoken to online or just seen some of the things that they've been saying that are so lovely online. I see some girlies in the front, right there, hi. The most lovely, lovely girlies who just send me constant messages and have been just like a fuel and energy source throughout the years. And then when I came here and met every single one of you and hugged you and said hello and looked you in the eyes, I realized, oh, there's something really special here. And I'm so happy that you liked my Ada.
No, I ask only because it's not often that people that are voicing games has such a big crowd. People that are pleased, that are invested, that actually live this game. And if you receive a remaster, they're going for this story again and again, because you guys created such a good characters with your voices, with your personalities. So, me as a gamer, as a guy who was playing from, I don't know, 6-year-old, I'm pleased that games went outside of the box. They are not only for the people that thinking, okay, though, if you're playing games, probably you're socially awkward, you don't have friends, and that's why you're sitting there and playing. No, you connect people. How do you relate to that? Relate to that.
Go ahead.
Games are so important to so many people for so many different reasons. Myself, like the only reason I'm in a game at all is because of other games. Because I fell in love with them, and I fell in love with the stories, and I fell in love with the writing and the performances, and they were impactful to me as a person in my life, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I got so lucky that I got to be a part of this one, and meet these beautiful people, and meet you beautiful people. And I think that's every single one of you here, games are meaningful to you. So you can understand it the same way that we can. These games are so important, and they change our lives, and they make our lives better. And that's like, I can't love games enough.
For me, I am socially awkward, so you can see if you ever see my streams, you'll understand exactly what I mean. So I feel like I finally found my people, and it's because of this game, because of this job, and the amount of love that I get from everyone is just incredible. So it is truly amazing, and that's how I am able to relate to this.
All right. Let's open the gates with the questions. Where the people go? Oh, that's a lot of people. But first, there are some house rules. Don't ask for spoilers. Don't ask for future parts. Because they will not answer, you will lose your question, we all will be sad. All right? Cool.
Hi, now I'm scared. Hi, at first I want to say you're all amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you know. And this is my question. What do you think the life of your characters would be if the events of Resident Evil had never happened?
I mean, I think Ashley would just be a college girly, getting education, traveling around a little bit, hanging out with friends. Like, I think she would have as normal as you can have life as the president's daughter.
For me, this is just me as Andre, what I think, because I'm not Luis, so this is just kind of speculation, I guess you can say. I feel like Luis just wanted to get out of that village, and he would have probably, again, this is speculation, so it's just my opinion, he would have probably ended up somewhere in Europe being a pool shark, so like playing pool in the bars, scamming people from their money, and smoking a bunch of cigarettes, and so chain smoking, exactly.
My Ada would either be a doctor or a kindergarten teacher.
I think he would have an ice cream shop. That's it. That's it.
That's Nick.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's me.
Hi, thank you so much for coming to Poland.
A little bit louder.
Okay, first of all, thank you so much for coming to Poland. This means so much to all your Polish fans. We are very happy to have you here, and we hope you enjoy your stay. And my question is, has there ever been a moment when you were reading the scripts, your lines, where you were like, this character wouldn't say that? Because I know that a lot of you are big fans of the characters you're voicing, and you know their personalities well, so I was wondering if maybe, there was something like that.
I think this is probably a fault of myself as an actor in previous years that I used to think that way, but then I recently saw an amazing interview with the great Mr. Skarsgård, and he said that when you open up your imagination, your characters are more interesting than you may think, than you may imagine. So even the idea of like, well, my character wouldn't say that, but how do you know? Just try it. Just, you never know what you can discover from it. And that's also why I love Steve and Hero so much, our director and producer, is because they built a relationship with us from the beginning that made us as artists trust them, so that when they did say, just try it, we trust fully if we try it, we will discover something new. Whereas I think the sentiment of saying my character wouldn't say that comes from a little bit of a fear of like, I have to protect this character and protect my work. But when you're working with a director and a producer who make you feel so safe that you don't feel the need to have to be so tightly gripping onto protecting your work, then you can discover something really special, which is why, going back to your previous question, why this game is different is because we all really related to it, because there was that freedom and we all connected with each other so much so that we became a family and would always have dinner together. I mean, I wasn't cooking, Nick was cooking, I was just eating. I'd show up and be like, girl, what are we eating today? But that's my kind of answer to your question. And kind of an answer to your previous question too, because I didn't get a chance.
That's a dang good answer. That's a very good answer. And I feel very similarly, like there was never a moment where I didn't think that they'd, put a lot of love and care into the character. They definitely changed Ashley quite a lot from the OG. Like she's a pretty different character, and I could see all the effort that had gone into reworking her to be what she became, and they trusted me with it. So I trusted them.
For me, yeah. For me, it was less about the lines and more about like situational things. Like, I'll give it like a broad example, just as an example. Like Leon would never leave someone who needed help. He would never leave someone in distress. And so if there was ever a moment in a story where we were trying to figure out a situation, if something felt wrong, I would just suggest and say, I don't think he would ever leave that person. He would put his body in front of Mr. X and that person to protect that person. So I would say it's more situational that I was a little protective of, but I was usually always on the same page of the team that we were working with. But that's what I would advocate for.
For myself, I think it's more of something that I wouldn't say, so I struggled with that a little bit, but Luis is definitely much more charming and quirky than I am. So, for example, I struggled a little bit with that, then please come to my rescue, Prince Charming. I don't know if I would ever say that, but he pulls it off. And I feel like they were so much smarter than myself, the writers and the people at Capcom, that made Luis, the person that y'all got to see and made it so interesting. So myself, yes, but Luis, no, it was perfect. It was absolutely perfect for Luis, all of the lines. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Hi. Oh my God, I didn't plan to come and ask any question, but then I did somehow. I didn't expect it.
I'm worried right now.
You are here, believe it or not.
Well, I'm pretty stressed and I hate how I sound in the microphone, but well.
I love how you sound.
Thank you. So overall, I was struggling with health for the last 2 years, and after 2 years, I had a comeback to Resident Evil. I didn't expect that slaying zombies with Leon's chainsaw will have such a healing factor to it. However, I have a small question to Nick, because I was wondering, I saw some videos when you said that Leon's voice in Requiem was very unnatural for you.
And I was wondering, is it like you had to prepare for every single line in the game, or was it like you would just do some magic and switch to the older gravel Leon mode, and you can as well just read the washing machine manual? It's not a trap to ask you to do some voice acting showcase for us, but I'm just curious.
But I'm just hoping.
Somewhere deep in my heart, yeah, maybe.
I figured you out. You tricked me. Okay. Well,
Sorry.
it was a really, really hard thing for me to find because it is very unnatural. I'm somewhere naturally. I'm somewhere in between RE2 and RE4. That's how I speak, and that's easy for me. I don't go around talking and saying like, "Hey, how you doing?" That's. It took me a couple months to figure that out, how to do that, and it's even harder when I'm moving around. So as she was saying, with performance capture, we are acting these scenes out like theater. So we're running around, diving, shooting, killing, helping. And that's hard to control my voice. It's a lot easier to do while I'm just sitting here or in back of the microphone during our voiceover sessions. But yeah, it took a while. I had to learn how to speak from a different spot in my head, and I never knew what that meant until this game, really. So I'll give you an example for all the games. So for RE2 Leon, I spoke with a very bright intonation, so it's kind of like, "Hey!" It's very bright. "Leon Kennedy." Then I spoke from my chest and put more breath into it for RE4, so it's a little smoother, like butter. So it was like, "Leon Kennedy." See the difference? Then for Requiem, this was the hardest. I had to learn how to speak from the back of my throat and like swallow it all and add some gravel and texture because he was older. And so it went from that to Leon Kennedy. Thank you. You tricked me. You temptress.
Well, sorry, but you made my day, thank you.
Sorry, but not sorry.
It's an honor. I have a question that is, if you could tell, do you prefer the original versions of your characters or do you prefer the remake versions?
I'm biased. I prefer the remake.
Yeah. Remake. Obsessed with the remake.
My personal hero is Paul Mercier. He's one of the reasons I started acting. He was the voice actor for the original Leon in RE4, and so hearing his buttery smooth voice back when I was a kid, that inspired me to get into acting.
For me, I would say that if original Louis' death or story was a little longer, like it was in RE4, then maybe it would have been, my preferred choice. But because they got to really, expand on Louis and make him a little bit more endearing, I do prefer RE4 remake Louis. Yeah.
So it's 3-1.
We win.
Thank you.
Hi. So I am very tempted to ask about the backflips again, but
You're gonna offer me your jacket.
I don't know if it's gonna fit, but but if you suddenly were placed in RE4, how long do you think you would survive, all of you guys?
I would survive to the island, and that's it. I think so. Like, I would get kind of far, right, for like an average human, but I think that's where I would call it.
Girl, I'd die right away. I'm Gonzo.
No, I'm surviving till the end and beyond, forever.
All right, then, yeah, me and her, we'd be fighting on to the end.
And I would
We beat the
help.
game.
I would help you hide in like the oven or something, and I would like,
Hiding was more of an option, maybe I could.
I'd help you.
If I could hide. If I had to run,
If anybody is interested, I would survive 30 seconds. That's it.
Thank you very much. Hi, hello.
There will be a double question
Yes.
in one voice. Damn.
Got 4 questions. And first, we wanted to ask, what is your favorite character from Resident Evil, except the one you played?
I like Barry.
I like the dog.
I think maybe Eagle over here.
Ada Wong, obviously.
Yeah, change your answer.
For me, the villain would be the OG Nemesis, and for protagonist, Sheva Alamar. Damn, okay. I love Sheva. She's very, very underrated and underutilized, and I would love to see her come back in RE15. I don't know.
And we wanted to ask, what do you think? Is Nemesis scariest or Mr. X? Who do you think?
Scarier?
More like he's hardest to fight,
My baby.
like he's more...
Can you tell the 2 options?
Yeah.
No.
Oh! Like he's more hard to fight. Sorry for my English. Who? Which Nemesis or Mr. X? Sorry.
So
I ask you and you're like, yeah, okay.
So for me, I'm biased because you have to love your children. So it would be Nemesis because Luis was part of the Nemesis project.
I think Nemesis in RE3 was way harder. Yeah, Nemesis for sure.
I think we're all going to be in agreement.
My answer is always Leon.
And I wanted to ask
No. You had 2, and there is a big line. Sorry for that, but I'm trying to give everybody a chance. All right?
Thank you for coming to Poland. Bye.
So, hi again. I have a specified question for Lily. What was the biggest difference and something maybe you enjoyed more or less between playing your role as a voice actress in the Resident Evil 4 and as an actress in the live-action movie?
Interesting. It was actually more immersive in the video game because I got to build a bond and had a relationship with the actors for a long period of time. For the movie, I was there for a very short period of time. And I think Ada is very emotionally disconnected to everyone else. It's very black and white. This is what happens. We're not going to get emotional about it. She doesn't get emotional about Leon either in public. But having the connection of getting to know everybody and getting to know Nick over a period of time was more immersive. And motion capture for me, like I think it's a form that's so, it's very, very human. I love it. Yeah, so I think probably which one was more immersive? What was the question?
Which one did you enjoy more or less, like?
Motion capture. RE4 remake, for sure.
Okay, thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoy your day.
Thank you.
I have a question for Andre actually. So, if Luis were alive, what do you think would be his role in the subsequent game?
I will stop you. Can we change the question for something else?
Really? Okay.
I'm sorry for that, but Capcom will have my head if you will try to answer that.
Okay. Well, in that case, I will have to pass.
Okay.
I have nothing else prepared. Thank you, though. It was a lovely scene.
Sorry for that.
No, that's fine.
Okay, hi again. So I have a question for all of you. What was your favorite memory about working together on the game, and did you have any funny bloopers on the set?
Ooh, bloopers.
I think I was telling someone about this earlier today. I don't know if all of you were here for this, but there was a day where I just had to do some running, because, you know, Ashley do be running. And I was just running back and forth across the volume, and at one point I tripped really badly and like went sprawling fully on the ground entirely, and I was so embarrassed, and there's nothing on the ground. I tripped on nothing. And then I got up, no one had any reaction whatsoever, no one had said anything, and I was very confused. And then later at lunch, I was like, I guess they're just pretending it didn't happen to not embarrass me. And at lunch, our director brought it up, and I was like, oh no, I just really fell. And he was like, what? Oh, I thought you did that on purpose. I thought you were like swan diving as Ashley to make a big like dramatic scene thing. I didn't know that was a real fall. Are you okay? So that was pretty embarrassing. That was kind of a blooper. I think that's the closest thing that I can think of.
I mean, I don't think there's anywhere to find this, but in motion capture, everything is just a bulbous object with a dot on it, and you have to remember and pretend what it is, and same with the sets. So there were two situations. One of them, I have two items in my hands. They're very precious, but one of them's very precious. The other one is just a set of keys. And it was a scene with you where I was supposed to toss the keys to you, and I was like, bye, Leon, and I toss the keys, and I get into the helicopter, but over on the screen you see what the prop is, and the director was like, no, that was the wrong thing, you gave him the wrong thing. And same with the helicopter, it's just a little wooden frame, and we just pretend, and you know, I did my like cool thing where I step on and I'm just waiting for the helicopter to take off. And of course I stepped on the wrong thing. So in the screen, the helicopter's there and I'm still pretending I'm on it. And Steve's like, you idiot, no. Get in the helicopter.
I have a really funny story, but I'm gonna have to act this one out to show you guys. So, I'm gonna have to ask you to get up, Lily.
To jest ten moment, kiedy wyciągacie telefony. Uwierzcie mi.
Can you scoot over as well?
Of course.
And can
Throw me out, okay.
you scoot over maybe on the other side? You'll see why. So, okay, I'm gonna have to describe the situation here. So, some of us also played some ganados. Marcio Moreno, we played some ganados for motion capture for different scenes where they just needed many bodies. I think all of us have, right?
Yeah.
Is this what I think it is?
Probably. So there was one thing we had to capture, and the director Steve said, okay, we need some ganados to like crash through a window and kind of fall into a cabin and then, you know, lurch towards the player. And so Marcio and myself, you know, we made it kind of ugly, and we're like, crashed through the window and literally made it ugly. And fell down and had weapons in our hands and everything, and it was ugly. And then, so when Andre did it, this just made me laugh so hard. So Andre said, okay, action, crash through the window. And Andre comes up and he goes, and the director said, what was that? And Andre goes, well, I didn't want to hurt myself. He's the daintiest ganado ever, and that was just funny.
I thought, look, I gave the ganados a little bit more credit, you know, than I thought they were like smart, you know? So of course they wouldn't want to hurt themselves, but yeah, it didn't make it. I don't think that made it onto the game.
Probably didn't make it in the game, but that was funny and it made me laugh for a long time. So thank you guys.
Scary.
Elegant.
For me, it was something funny about filming. Was probably, I guess, depending on what funny you're talking about. Because funny was the smell of the booth after Nick would come out and I'd go in. I'd be like, whoa. We'd have to open the door and vent it out a little bit because he was giving it his all, and you could really really
Sweaty. It's hot in there. It's really hot. It's
That's called dedication. All right, we have time for one more last question.
Thank you very much.
Make it count. Oh.
Hi, I have it written down so I won't stutter. It's actually connected to the answer you gave earlier, Lily. It's more of a technical. When you're doing performance capture or motion capture, and the director gives you notes about the environment your character is right now, and then after the game comes out, you play the game and you think, that's not what I imagined. Have you ever had the experience in the Resi game or outside?
No, I haven't. Steve is incredibly good at describing in specific detail what everything is, and he will sometimes even come and act it out for me. I'm not really precious about directors showing me exactly what they want. And the funniest thing is because I did all of my motion capture in heels, in the Ada heels, sometimes he would come and be like, no, Lily, you're not getting what I'm saying to you. And he'll pretend to walk like Ada in heels. This like 6'4" French man. He will do it.
Okay, well, the other one can also answer if you want.
Yes.
Repeat the question. Oh, come on, you specifically want to one person, nobody else.
Oh, was it hard to, if you saw anything, you were like, oh, I didn't imagine it like that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I think I have to be careful about how much to say, but there's storyboards always for every project. And the artists who work on this company game are so skilled and they know it so well. They really did a very good job of like providing us with the imagery we needed to have in our imagination, because really it is in our imagination. We're in a big empty room. If anything, there's maybe a piece of tape on the floor to like signify a wall or whatever. Like, don't step over the tape, because then you'll be like phasing through a wall and actually can't do that. So they did a very good job, and Steve also, like Lily said, was really, really good at helping us make sure that we knew exactly what the space we were in was going to be. But it definitely looked more beautiful. The final project, like seeing it all come together and playing the game, it's truly even though it's terrifying and an action game and there's so much going on, it's also very beautiful. And I was surprised by like the color palettes and how smooth and gorgeous it was in the end.
All right, guys, that concludes our panel. Thank you very much for being here. Let's do a photo. Let's do a photo, yes.